Breathing and eating are two basic characteristics that allow humans and other living beings to survive. Without either of these things, we wouldn't exist. With the evolution of humanity, new methods of food production have emerged, some of them quite questionable and sometimes repulsive. I'm sure at least one of them you have consumed or must have done so. You go to the supermarket and rush to the section where the pâtés are, because there's nothing better than a little pâté on toast, right? So first of all, one should not generalize, because there are also industries that have quite debatable quality standards. But here we go, the pâté is made from the discard of viscera and other parts that are not initially used and can be from different animals at the same time. That is, they mix pieces of cows, pigs, chickens, and even ducks, and to achieve the final texture and flavor come the additives, seasonings, flours, milk, and various other additives. Even though the liver flavor predominates, it is not the main ingredient, that is, it is not the ingredient in the greatest quantity in the pâté. I bet you're wondering why sliced bread made this list, right? After all, it's just bread, which is a perfect pair for making hot or cold sandwiches. But know that according to food packaging labels, in the manufacturing of this type of bread, among other foods, L-cysteine is added, which is an amino acid used as a dough conditioner in the industry. It happens that L-cysteine is most often extracted from human hair, one of its main sources because it's cheaper. After all, what matters is the profit, not what's going into your stomach. We also have the extraction of vanilla, for example, which involves a process that is somewhat complex and requires care to obtain the desired flavors from this pod. Vanilla is a spice obtained from the pods of the vanilla plant, mainly from the species Vanilla planifolia. Despite being found in good quantity between Mexico and Paraguay, its process is also expensive. Therefore, the industry preferred to find another alternative, which is animal-based. So instead of vanilla extracted from a plant, they began to use castoreum, an aromatic substance obtained from the castor glands found near the genital regions of beavers, which are semi-aquatic rodent mammals. These glands produce a strong-smelling secretion that beavers use to mark territory and communicate with other members of the species. Castoreum has been historically used in the fragrance and flavor industry due to its characteristic odor. In the food and flavoring industry, castoreum has been employed as a natural flavor and flavoring agent in certain products. So, when you're enjoying that vanilla ice cream or eating that cookie, think a little about beavers and the difficulty they already have in building their dams. Not to mention, of course, what is done to them to extract the castoreum. In this regard, by the way, there are already laws and movements that prohibit hunting beavers for this purpose, as it can lead the animal to extinction. Moreover, many people love chewing gum, right? In any case, what's curious here are two ingredients used by the industry that can cause a certain repulsion. The ingredients are lanolin and bovine bones, that's right. Lanolin is a smelly and greasy natural substance obtained from sheep's wool. It's a secretion of the sebaceous glands present in sheep's wool, and its original function is to protect the wool and the animal's skin from moisture and adverse weather conditions. Lanolin is often referred to as wool wax or wool grease due to its texture and composition. Lanolin serves to soften the product and make it chewable. Historically, animal bones were used in the production of chewing gum to obtain the chewable base. The goal in the process is to extract collagen. However, most modern gums no longer use bones as the main ingredient in manufacturing the base. Instead, modern chewing gum bases are usually made of synthetic materials, such as polymers and elastomers, which provide the desired chewy, elastic texture. Still, few manufacturers have adapted, as the investments are quite high. The suggestion is always to practice reading product labels to check the ingredients, especially if you have specific concerns about ingredients or dietary restrictions. Now, cream-filled cookies and biscuits are subject to condemnation based on their production method, which involves everything from heavy metals to the risk of containing allergenic ingredients. According to the site setaconsulting.com, there's a risk of metal residues in cookies, as the machine rollers are made of a metal harder than bronze, but particles, or even tiny chips, can get stuck and mix into the dough. There can also be problems in storage, especially in factories that still use wooden pallets to store products before they're shipped to the market. It happens that wood can harbor molds prone to contaminating the cookies or biscuits. Wooden pallets can also contaminate the products during transport much more easily than plastic pallets, because cross-contamination can occur, that is, the product can absorb different contaminating agents from different sources during transport, if not subjected to strict prior inspection. Although it's not something the manufacturer wants in their product, and even though the products are made in controlled environments, or at least they try to be, incidents can occur. And who knows if some hungry insect stopped where it shouldn't have and ended up being captured by one of the conveyors or rollers of the machines used in manufacturing. And don't think this only happens with cookies or biscuits. Chocolate bars and even cocoa powder are subject to this. According to the FDA, which is the U.S. regulatory agency for food and drugs, it's allowed to find up to 60 insect fragments, not just cockroaches, in 100 grams of chocolate. Think, if each fragment weighs 1 gram, you'll only have 40 grams of chocolate. That is, instead of milk chocolate, we could be eating chocolate-flavored insects. Perhaps today's youth have never heard of chorizo, let alone eaten this type of Portuguese cuisine. Also known as blood sausage or black pudding, depending on the region of the country, it's a type of sausage made with coagulated pig's blood. The filling is prepared by placing in a pot the animal's fresh blood, seasoned with garlic, onion, sugar, salt, and oregano. Some add other ingredients to enhance the chorizo. After everything is boiled, the intestines are filled with this filling using a funnel. Then it's just a matter of tying the ends and boiling it again. It's ready to be eaten. If, while chewing, you notice something more consistent in your mouth, like cartilage, it's because, in many cases, head and offal are added to the pot. Now, for those who love a hot dog or a sandwich with mortadella, or even ham and other products known as processed meats. Do you have any idea how these foods are produced? There's information that the ingredients used as filling are not of the highest quality, such as lower quality meats, fillers, fat, animal byproducts, or artificial ingredients not always well identified. In addition, processed meats often contain additives such as colorants, flavor enhancers, and preservatives to improve the taste, color, and shelf life. Some processed meats may have a high content of sodium, saturated fat, and calories, which is not healthy for people with hypertension or those prone to it, as well as for people with some deficiencies. Moreover, the manufacturing process of processed meats can involve grinding, mixing, and heat treatment, which can raise concerns about the nutritional integrity of the meat and possible negative health effects. Some processed meats contain nitrites and nitrates, which are used as preservatives and to color the products. However, these substances can react with the meat components during the process to form potentially harmful compounds, such as nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are the result of the combination of nitrites with amines and are recognized as possibly carcinogenic, that is. They may favor the development of cancer, especially in the stomach and intestines. In nature, animals with very bright colors, like red, are usually not the ideal food for predators. In the human world, strong colors usually indicate joy, movement, and even provoke a desire to eat. That's where the danger lies in some cases. In this case, we have carmine. Have you heard of it? Carmine is a natural dye widely used in the food industry to add vibrant colors to food products and beverages. It's obtained from the cochineal or Dactylopius coccus, a parasitic insect that feeds on the sap of certain types of cacti. Carmine is produced by harvesting and processing these insects that contain an intense red pigment in their shells. The carmine dye is commonly used to color a variety of foods, such as yogurts, ice creams, candies, baked goods, juices, sodas, and other products. The product is also used in the cosmetics industry, paints, and textile dyes. As for health risks, carmine is considered safe for most people when consumed in normal amounts in food. However, there may be concerns for people allergic to carmine or the insects that produce it. In addition, some people might choose to avoid artificial and natural dyes due to concerns about their connection to allergic reactions or hyperactivity in children. And what about the beloved popcorn? Have you thought about it? Know that behind this tempting and delicious snack, there's a hidden enemy with a complex name. It's perfluorooctanoic acid. It's not present in the corn that will become popcorn, but in its packaging. Similarly, it is found in the coating of Teflon pans. Its function is to prevent food from sticking to the packaging or the bottom of the pan. However, according to some studies, residues of this acid can be transferred to the food. And even though it's in minimal amounts, it's extremely easy for it to accumulate in the body. Animal studies have shown that exposure to high levels of this acid can result in liver damage, including changes in liver enzymes, inflammation, and impact on the endocrine system. Some research suggests that the acid can have effects on the endocrine system, affecting hormones. However, the precise mechanisms and exact effects are still being investigated. There is evidence that exposure to it in the air may be related to developmental and reproductive problems, including growth delays and fetal development, as well as changes in reproductive hormones. Finally, there are studies regarding this acid being the cause of certain types of kidney, testicular, and pancreatic cancer. However, the scientific evidence is inconclusive, and more research is needed to establish this relationship. Either way, in light of all these suspicions, it's better to reduce consumption or even avoid it. This happens a lot among young students today, especially those who also work. Eating instant noodles, the famous ramen. Here we refer to the type of noodle prepared instantly, and that usually comes with a basic seasoning in its packaging. Instant noodles are made from a pre-cooked dough that is fried in vegetable oil, usually palm, to remove water and become crispy. This process allows the noodles to cook quickly when added to boiling water. However, this process can also generate trans fats, which are harmful to health, as they increase bad cholesterol and the risk of cardiovascular diseases. Moreover, instant noodles contain a seasoning that is high in sodium, preservatives, and artificial flavor enhancers that can be harmful to the body. Excessive sodium can cause hypertension, kidney problems, and fluid retention. Preservatives and dyes may be carcinogenic, i.e., promote the development of cancer, especially in the stomach and intestines. Flavor enhancers like monosodium glutamate can cause allergic reactions, headaches, nausea, and taste changes. That's it for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.